I do a lot of different kinds of sculpture. I do ceramic. I usually use the coil method. I do bronze, and I do paper mache along with some mixed media stuff. My paper mache is usually life-size. I do a lot of Day of the Dead type things with the paper mache, and I really have fun with that. My bronze work I don't do as much. That's pretty much commission only because it's so expensive to produce. My ceramic sculpture is probably my main thing, and I started creating ceramics when I was a kid. And I just really loved the idea of molding things with my hands and the clay with my hands. I got better at it in high school, and I actually created the sculpture, this self-portrait, in my first year in college. And so it's kind of an old piece, but I was challenged to do this self-portrait. I did it with a coil method, and it really turned out great. It's still one of my very favorite pieces. And I made it look Egyptian because when I was younger, I just loved Egypt, and I always dreamed about being an Egyptian princess, right? So I liked the Nefertiti idea. So I had made this beaded collar in the style of like an Egyptian collar with leather and ceramic beads that I handmade in high school, and I always wanted something to put it on. So when I did my self-portrait, I decided I was going to do it in an Egyptian style, a little Nefertiti-ish, and use it to display also this jewelry piece I had made in high school.
And the butt?
Well, the butts. That is a whole series of sculpture that I made, 15 pieces altogether. They're all life-size torsos or bottom half of the body. And they're done in the coil method using high-fire ceramic. So if you look on the inside, you can see the coils, just like a coiled pot, like a Native American style might be. And they're done with live models. And that series was called Esse Quam Videre, which is Latin for to be rather than to seem. And it started off as doing these sculptures of people that I knew, local artists and models that were friends of mine that agreed to model for me for this project. And as I was doing it, I got this idea of that we always look at the outer part of people. And we look at their bodies, we look at their faces, and we often judge people by that. And I wanted to reveal somehow the inner spirit, the inner part of the soul of my models. So I asked each one to pick an object that they felt would represent their spirit or their soul. And we presented that on a velvet cushion that sits on top of the torso. And so each of these sculptures has a specific object picked by the model, chosen by the model to represent their inner spirit. And so the title, To Be Rather Than To Seem, is really about that, what they really are, as opposed to their outer shell.